Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
With us today is Edward Price, a diplomat, worked for the United Kingdom for the government, and the head of economic policy during the Brexit years. Well, Edward Price, give us an update. Where the heck are we right now? What's going on with the price of the dollar? What's going on with tariffs? You give the American people an update.
Well, thanks for having me, John. I'm not sure if anybody's qualified to give a true update, and that's another way of saying that the international macroeconomy, the picture therein, is pretty confusing. I mean, on the one hand, in the last 10 years or so, we've achieved peak globalization. We had massive economies of scale. We had comparative advantage. We had the United States exporting fiat currency and the Chinese exporting goods. But somehow the outcome of that globalization wasn't what political scientists always wanted, right, which was peace. It was what the political scientists always feared, which is tension and conflict. So the fact that liberal economics and liberal politics parted ways is fascinating. And to answer your question, I think we're at the moment now, the inflection point in which the United States says, okay, this is a mess. We're going to start making moves.
Absolutely. And I mean, my opinion on Brexit was that the fact that the British, tell me if I'm wrong, the British government was being invaded. They woke up one day and they realized that the UK used to be 67% British, and all of a sudden they woke up one day it was 47%. Am I wrong?
You are, Ron. Yes, that wasn't the issue with Brexit. I think that it was a much more complicated economic picture, and I think that the fact that the United Kingdom was exporting invisible services, capital services to Europe, escapes the notice of the general population. So there are many reasons that the British voted for Brexit, but I have to say that one of the interesting things in retrospect is that those parts of the country that voted against the European Union had the lowest level of immigration. So I think that's probably an urban myth.
Well, maybe. Tell us what's going on in the global economy. There's many, many rumors that Russia and China and India were trying to get rid of the dollar and change around the global currency. Give us your pulse on that.
Well, I think that the dollar in any long-term horizon is in trouble, John. There are too many dollars in existence, at least as measured by the rational size and the rational demand of the U.S. economy. And I've written about this actually recently in National Review. That comes down to the Nixon presidency. President Nixon is the guy that moved us from a metallic standard to a fiat dollar. And the implications of that decision have been working through the system ever since. One, arguably, was the global financial crisis, when massive U.S.-denominated capital flooded back into one of our assets, in this case, property. But another is eventually going to be what I call the dollar frown. And look, we're already seeing that. U.S. Treasury yields really rose recently, and that defies what you usually think about, which is a safe haven playbook, which is the dollar smile. And instead, there's a growing thesis, which is that there are too many dollars in the world, as I say. And honestly, I don't know how economic policymakers would fix that, because it certainly wouldn't be another round of QE.
Understood. What else do you want to tell the American people? Now, you're teaching right now in New York University.
I have been teaching. I'm not teaching this semester, but I have been teaching. And I suppose my general message is let's keep subtle. Let's be kinder to each other at home. One of the things that worries me is that we've got these two great political economists the wrong way around. Hobbes and Rousseau. Hobbes is about power. Rousseau is about cooperation. We seem in the last 25 years to have applied Rousseau abroad and Hobbes at home. Let's flip that around. Let's have Rousseau at home. Let's be kinder to each other. Let's take the temperature down here. And a bit more Hobbes abroad, which is basically finding and defeating our enemies.
Understood. And, Ed Price, thank you so much for coming on today. And let's keep talking and keep the American people informed. And I believe kept informed is more important than anything else.
Oh, amen to that, John. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.